Good morning, everyone. I'm ZIXUAN from the Oppo Procurement Department, and I'm really glad to be here today at our Executive Planning Day to share the result of our business environment analysis. I'll be talking about four topics and how each of them affects our procurement decisions. Let's start with the first one, the microeconomy and the business cycle. The most basic concept here is GDP, which measures a country's total output and income. We usually calculate it by GDP equal to C plus I plus G plus NX. Let me explain it. C consumption, I investment, G government spending, and NX is net exports. There are two types of GDP, nominal GDP and real GDP. Nominal GDP use current price without inflation. However, real GDP is adjusted for price changes, so it reflects real growth. Now, what exactly is inflation? It means the overall rise in price across the economy. We usually measure it use a price index, such as CPI, PPI. Next, let's talk about unemployment. It is the percentage of people in the labor force who are looking for a job but can't find a job. When the economy is at full employment, the unemployment rate equal to the natural rate. As you can see in this chart, AD, SRAS, and the LRAS meet at this point. Together, this explains the real business cycle, which has four stages: expansion, peak, contraction, and through. In this graph, the red curve shows real GDP, and the blue line shows potential GDP. When real GDP is above potential GDP, we are in the expansion phase. The economy is recovering, company hire more works, and output grows. But later, growth slows down and reach a peak. Then comes the contraction phase, where economic activities decline, unemployment rates, and inflation pressure decline. Overall, inflation usually goes up during expansion and down during contraction, while unemployment moves in the opposite direction. It lags during through, then fall. Every day, we don't just deal with parts and suppliers, we deal with the changing market. As a procurement team, our job is to read the signals behind those changes. When GDP goes down and unemployment goes up, it means demand is falling, the market is slowing down. In this phase, we should shorten contract period and keep them flexible so we can react quickly if something changes. But when the economy starts to recover and people begin buying more, that's our signal to lock in price earlier for key long lead items like chips, batteries, and displays to make sure our supply stays stable and the delivery time are under control. If we see inflation rising when CPI and PPI go up, we should communicate with our main supplier for index basic pricing or rebate terms so we can share the risk instead of taking it all ourselves. In summary, by closely tracking GDP, inflation, and unemployment, we can tell which stage for the business cycle we are in and adjust our stage earlier. Let's move on to topic 2, aggregate demand and aggregate supply analysis. The Singapore government plans to give a tax rebate to all tax residents in 2025. In the short term, this will increase real GDP, raise the price level, and reduce unemployment. But in the long term, real GDP and unemployment return to the same level, while the overall price level stays higher. Let's take a look at this through ADAS model. In the short term, tax rebate increase people's disposable income. This is an expansion fiscal policy. In the same time, we know that AD equals C plus I plus G plus X minus Z. When consumption and investment both increase, total demand also increase. So the AD curve shifts right from AD0 to AD1. It meets SRAS 0 at point B. At that point, real GDP rises from Y0 to Y1, and the price level goes up from P0 to P1. In the long run, workers will ask for higher wages, so SRA0 shifts left to SRAS1. Now, SRAS1, AD1, and LRAS meet at point C. The economy moves back to its potential output Y0, but the price level increased future to P2. So what does this mean for Oppo? Let's look at in two parts, short term and long term. In short term, tax rebate put more money in consumers' pockets. People are more willing to buy mid to low price electronic product, and the demand for new phone will rise. Oppo can raise inventory and launch in short-term promotions, for example, trade-in programs or discount on popular models. In the long run, general price go up, employees' wages, transport fee, and rent will all increase, pushing up operating costs. Oppo should sign long-term contract with key supplier to lock in cost, and focus more R&D resource on mid to high-end model to maintain profit. Higher-end products can help offset the impact of raising cost. Through the ADAS model, we can clearly see how fiscal policy affects the market, and more importantly, it helps Oppo plan ahead. Okay, let's turn to the third topic, tariffs and the trade war. In April 2025, President Trump signed Executive Order 14257, which means a 10% basic tariff on all imported goods. In simple words, tariffs make imported products more expensive. Let's take Oppo as an example. Imagine we produce and sell phones in the US, but we also export some to other countries. Now, what happens when tariffs come in? We look at it step by step, use the simple and demand model. As you can see, when there's no tariff, the price is P1, demand is Q1, supply is Q4. So the import amount is Q1 minus Q4. After the tariff, price go up to P2. Producer make a bit more, consumer buy a bit less. So import draw to Q2 minus Q3. If you look at the chart, you will see the red area means local producer and more profit. It's good for them. The green area shows government tariff revenue. The A and B triangle represent that we lose, mean a total social welfare decrease. The pink, yellow, and green triangle shows the loss in consumer surplus. So who is the winner, who is the loser? Well, the winner are US producer and the government because they both get more money. The loser are consumer, foreign exporter, and the overall economy, since total income actually goes down. Now, how do tariffs affect Oppo? On the good side, tariffs make our competition imported phone more expensive. This means Oppo can sell at a higher price and earn more money. But in the bad side, other countries might fight back. They may put tariff on American product. Our sale might decline and the profit may decrease. So what should our procurement team to do about it? First, we should buy and assemble more locally. Then help avoid tariff. Second, for material that we import and then export, we can apply for CBP program. In summary, tariffs may create short-term trends for local production, but they also bring uncertainty and risk. That's all for the topic 3. Next, I will talk about our final topic, insights for behavioral economics. We all know that consumers and producers don't always behave rationally. Very often, emotions, habits, and psychological biases influence decision more than logic. Understanding these mental patterns help us make more smarter and more effective business cycle. Let me share 2 quick examples. The first one is schedule poor buyers. People usually prefer to keep things the way they are, even if change could bring benefits. Many suppliers rely on old purchasing processing and don't want to try a new digital platform. Why? Because they are worried that switching might increase short-term costs or cause trouble at the beginning. Once we understand this mindset, we don't force them to change. Instead, Oppo's team introduces more pilot projects and try to lower the switching cost step by step. This way, suppliers can experience the new system's convenience in a low-risk environment, and slowly they start to accept it. It makes change easier, and it also improves supply chain efficiency. The second example is the memory effect. The same problem, different expression can influence people's choices during a negotiation. If we say use the new logic system can increase efficiency 10%, the supplier will not adopt it. But if you don't upgrade, you may fall behind 15% of your competitors. Their reaction is very different. By simply reframing the message, Oppo can encourage partners to adopt new solutions more effectively. So understanding behavioral economy is truly valuable for us. That's all from me today. Thank you very much for your time and attention.